Learn how to bobble stitch with a different color. Hi there, I'm Cilla from Cilla Crochets, and I'm here to cheer you on throughout your crochet journey, no matter what stage you're at. In this video, I am going to show you how to crochet a bobble stitch, which is this little white one here, or the 3 white ones here, in a different colour. So the main colour we've been using is grey, I switched to white, switch to grey, switch to white, etc. I'm going to show you how to do that. And the reason I am creating this video today is actually because someone who purchased one of the PDF patterns for my pattern, this is Elsie the Elephant Lovey, Elsie the Elephant Lovey, has requested a video on how to do this. While it is written in the pattern, I realise that actually being able to see it can help a lot. So that is what I'm going to show you how to do today. Now, while how I'm going to show you is very much so how we do it for Elsie in the leg. So this is her little legs, 2 legs at the front. You can use this technique for lots of different projects, and it will be the same or very, very similar. So let's get started. Okay, so we'll start off with the materials I'm using today. I've got Creative Cotton Aran, it's Rico Design Creative Cotton Aran in grey and white. I'm using a 4mm Clover & More crochet hook, some scissors, a stitch marker, and a bent tip tapestry needle, but you can just use a normal tapestry needle as well. Also, in case you want the written pattern, you can get the free written pattern on my website, cillacrochets.com. This pattern is also written in US terms, so if you're used to UK terms, just be aware that this is US. So a double crochet in the UK is the same as a single crochet in the US. Head to the description below for all the links. Today's tutorial, all we're doing is focusing on this bobble stitch. So let's go ahead and do that now. Okay, now I've just crocheted 3 rounds of Elsie the Elephant Lovey's arm, or leg I should say. It's a leg, elephants don't have arms. So I'm on to the row where the bobble stitches are placed. So I'm going to start off by single crocheting into the next 9 stitches. Now, the difference with this round is that I'm also going to be crocheting in the back loops only. So I'm going to do, and that is for all stitches, including the bobble stitch, which we will come to soon. But I'm going to insert my hook into the middle of the stitch. And I'm doing X-shaped single crochet for this one, which I do have a tutorial on my YouTube channel for X-shaped single crochet. I am doing a slight difference here though, with the second yarn over being normal, and it's only the first one that I am doing yarn under for, but you can do it either way. The other thing to say is the X-shaped single crochet in this pattern is optional. You don't have to do it. It is completely your choice. So that should be 9 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, now this is where the change color comes in. Now, when we change color, when we're making amigurumi, we need to introduce the yarn a little bit earlier, the new color a little bit earlier. So I'm actually going to undo that stitch I've just done, so I can show you when to introduce the color before we do the bobble stitch with the new color. So I'm getting my white yarn ready to attach, and here I am going to insert my hook, yarn under for this X-shaped single crochet. Okay, and now at this point I would either yarn over or yarn under to finish the single crochet. So this would be the last yarn over. here we're going to actually add in the white. So I'm going to get the white and pull through that instead. And I'm going to make sure there's a little bit of a yarn tail on the white section so we can secure that in and make sure it's super secure after we've done the bobble. So now we're going to do one bobble stitch using the white yarn. To do the bobble stitch, we yarn over first and then insert our hook into the stitch. In this case, we're working in back loops, so we're inserting it into the back loop only. Then we yarn over again. I'm not worried about single X-shaped single crochet for the bobble. Okay, now we yarn over and we pull through just the first 2 loops on our hook. So we've got 2 loops on our hook now. We're going to repeat that process until we end up with 5 loops in total on our hook. So we yarn over, we insert our hook into the exact same stitch we went into, which is the back loop in this case, yarn over, pull through, then we yarn over and pull through just the first 2 loops on our hook there. Okay, so you got to be careful when you do that you don't get your yarn caught. So now we've got 3 loops on our hook. Now again, I'm going to yarn over, insert the hook into that back stitch, pull through, yarn over, just going through the first 2 loops on our hook again. There we go. So now we've got 4 loops on the hook. So we only need to do it one more time to get to the 5th loop on our hook. So yarn over, insert the hook into the same stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through just the first 2 loops on our hook. There we go. And that is our 5 loops on our hook. So to finish the stitch, all we're going to do is yarn over and pull through all 5 loops on our hook, and that closes the stitch. Now I'm pulling this a little bit. I normally wouldn't pull my crochet, but for this piece and for amigurumi, sometimes it is useful because you do need super secure stitches so your stuffing doesn't show through. Now what I've just shown you there is how you do a bobble stitch. However, if you are crocheting Elsie the Elephant, we don't want to yarn over with the last bit with the white because the next 2 stitches are in grey and we should always swap to the new colour just before the new colour is needed. So what I'm going to do is very carefully undo that last yarn over and insert my hook back into the stitch. Okay, so at this point I'm actually going to pick up the grey again, and instead of doing the final yarn over with the white, I'm going to do the final yarn over with the grey, pull through. Okay, so that is us finishing the stitch. Now we've got 2 single crochets to do in the back loops of the next 2 stitches, 1 single crochet in each stitch, and then we'll do another bobble. So let's go on and do that so I can show you how I carry the yarn and how I make sure the bobble is facing the right way. So again, I'm working back with my X-shaped single crochet stitches. So I'm yarning under and then I'm yarning over, but you can yarn under both times, which is what I often do as well. So that's 1, and then next one, and you'll notice I'm carrying the white yarn of the bobble under these stitches just to make it easier to do the next bobble. So now for the next bobble stitch, I am on to the 2nd single crochet, as I said, before I change color to the white. At this point, before I do the final yarn over to finish the single crochet, I'm going to change back to the white. And at this point, I will yarn over and pull through, okay? And just pull that original grey strand tightly. Now, first part of the bobble is just to yarn over. We're inserting our hook into the back loop only of the next stitch. Yarn over, pull through. Now we yarn over and pull through the first 2 stitches on our hook. Do that again. So yarn over, insert your hook into the same stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through the first 2 stitches on your crochet hook. Now we've got 3 loops on our hook. So we're going to repeat that until we have 5 loops on our hook. So let's just, there we go. That's 4 loops on our hook now. So yarn over, insert into the stitch, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops on the hook. And that is our final 5 loops on our hook. So now again, we're going to swap back to the grey before we do our next single crochet. So yarn over and pull through all 5 loops that were on our hook, and that completes the stitch. Now we will crochet into the back loop of the next stitch, and that is just a normal X-shaped single crochet. Now I do the same for the next stitch, except again now at this point we swap to white because we're about to do our bobble stitch in the next stitch. So this is our last yarn over to finish the single crochet, but instead of that, I'm going to just insert the white yarn back here. So the white then goes in here instead. Again, I'm just gonna pull on my yarn strands a little bit just to make sure they're super secure for amigurumi so we don't have any stuffing showing through our stitches. So at this point we yarn over, we insert our hook into the next stitch. In our case it is the back loop of the next stitch. We yarn over, pull through, we yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops on our hook. Now we do that again. So yarn over, insert your hook into the same stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops on your hook. Whoops, there we go. So that's 3 loops on our hook now. So again, we repeat the process until we have 5 loops on our hook. So yarn over, insert your hook into the stitch, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through just the first 2 loops on your hook. Again, yarn over, insert your hook into the stitch, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through just the first 2 loops on your hook. So now we have 5 loops on our hook. And to end this one, again, we are swapping back to the grey. So just getting that ready. We yarn over with the grey and pull through all 5 loops that were on our hook with the grey, and that finishes that bobble stitch. So I'm going to finish the round just doing X-shaped single crochets all the way to the end, until we reach the stitch marker. Again, I'm working in those back loops for Elsie the Elephant. So I will fast forward this bit quickly and I will meet you back once I've finished this round. So at this point, I am going to cut the white yarn because we don't need it anymore. We're just continuing to work with the grey. Now, I won't do this on camera, but before I continue on to the next round, I'm going to use the tapestry needle just to secure these white yarn tails. Another trick, if you're feeling a little bit lazy, which I will do right now, is just to double knot it. Just make sure you don't double knot these threads so that you're puckering your work. You know, what I've done there is we want this bottom bit to stay flat, so you don't want to pull those threads too tightly. But then that just will allow me to cut these off just so I can show you. If I were making this for a little baby, I would not just knot it. I personally would always sew it in as well. I would probably knot it as well. So I would probably sew it in a little bit and then knot the ends together after I've sewn in the ends, and that's just to make it super secure so they don't come out, because the last thing you want is a baby to chew the end of the little Lovey's leg and have, you know, it choke on the baby, choke on threads. That's an awful thing to say, but you know, safety comes first when it comes to giving gifts to babies, so just be aware of that. So with these bobble stitches, we want them so the textured side is facing on the right side. So when we're using our crochet hook, we're using it like this, and we're inserting our crochet hook into the work. The side that our crochet hook, I'll just put it into the next stitch, is going into is the inside of our work, or the wrong side of the work when we're working with amigurumi. So the bit that the side of the stitch that we're actually putting the crochet hook into is the correct side, or the right side of our work, the side that people will see, that is not going to be stuffed. So once you've determined which is your right and which is your wrong side, with the bobble stitches, you just want to make sure that they are pointing outwards, and you can do that just by pressing behind them. Now, the other thing I want to note is that while we did like what seemed like 5 double crochet stitches in one stitch, the bobble stitch is only counted as 1 stitch. So for Elsie the Elephant Lovey in round 3, we ended with 24 stitches, and then round 4, which is the round we've just been working on with the bobble stitches, also has 24 stitches. So each of those bobbles only count as 1 stitch. And when we continue to crochet around, which I won't do now because that is not the point of this video, but when we do go to crochet around, all we're doing is crocheting into that top loop there. So when we haven't created any more stitches to crochet into, it should be the same number as the round before it. So a bobble stitch only counts as 1 stitch. Now I hope that has helped you learn how to do a bobble stitch. The one thing I will say is if you are doing a bobble stitch in a different color for a different pattern, make sure you read the pattern notes. The reason being is sometimes bobble stitches end with a different amount of loops on your hook. So for my pattern, when we're making Elsie the Elephant, the bobble stitch ends with 5 loops on your hook, then you yarn over and pull through. Sometimes it might only be 3 or 4 loops, sometimes it might be more, 6 loops on your hook before you do that final yarn over. And your written pattern will always tell you, or should always tell you, what that is. If it doesn't, reach out to the designer and ask them for clarification. If you've got Elsie the Elephant Lovey's written PDF pattern, detailed written instructions for the bobble stitches on page 3. And you'll also notice that on page 2 in the abbreviations section, there is mention of the bobble and what abbreviation we use, which is BO, stands for bobble. Right, so that brings us to the end of the tutorial today. If you want to check out any of the products, patterns, or more tutorials, please do head to the description below. There's some useful links there for you. If this video has helped you, please do give it a like. And if you would like to tune in for more crochet videos from me, please do hit that subscribe button and turn the little bell on so you get notified when any new videos are released. Until next time, happy crocheting!